Good morning. Looks like I missed quite the day yesterday whenever I had to hop off a little bit early. So there was quite a bit of movement in the ES and the NQ as well. You can see there. But that's just that's the way it goes. So let's move on to today. And I will only be trading until 11 o'clock today. So I'm going to change this text box here. 11 p.m. Eastern time is when I'll be checking the chat, just in case anybody's, typing in there or anything. So I'm looking at the ES right now, and I'm trying to mark up these trends from the overnight. So far, I'm just putting the overnight highs and lows. In fact, I'm not even going to put a range on there. I'm going to put the just horizontal support and resistance, and I do that because I don't want to influence my decision later by thinking that it's a range, even if it's not. We have an uptrend that has a close outside a new high. We have a short-term downtrend, has a break and new low. In fact, the way that this plays out, I'll leave it like that. I like this double top. So the uptrend has a break and new high, and then two legs down. Then you have two legs up, creating a double top. And now we are moving down, not super strongly. This downtrend already has a close outside a new low. Looks like we might run into some support there. And draw this trend as well. Looks like after this uptrend breaks with one leg, I would actually even think about something like that. I need to silence my phone here. Uptrend has a break, and then the retest trend then has a break and new high of its own, creating a double top. It's been a pretty crazy morning. I've had like a million things to do this morning. I woke up and just had a bunch of messages and such. Okay, now looking at the NQ, looks like we have this range. And has a close outside a new high, similar to the ES. And then prices attempt the highs again. Looks like a short-term downtrend plays out. And you could probably draw some sort of wider trend like this. So let's see if that ends up holding. I would say that I'm more short biased on both of these charts, though more so on the NQ than the ES right now. Let's wipe this one. And you have this downtrend here. Has a close outside and two legs to a new low. Looks like you have a range there, failed breakout. This could be a channel like this, although it could also be a spike in channel of some sort because this looks like a spike up. But I'm long biased on CL. And let's take a look at the RTY. Let's say there's this downtrend here that has a break. And then this uptrend has a close outside a new high. Two legs down. And I guess this wasn't convincing enough, break a new high, because prices attempt it again. But that plays out early, the short-term uptrend and break a new high. And now it looks like we're headed towards these lows. So definitely more short biased on this chart. I don't really think that that's going to be correct as a downtrend, but I'm going to put it there just in case. And yeah, looking for those shorts there. Okay, I am going to mark up these trends on my second monitor so I can see everything at once as well. And we are just a few minutes from the open, so I'm running a little bit behind this morning. I'd much rather have this done already. Like I said, I've just had a crazy morning of trying to respond to everybody and their mom who reached out. Not actually their mom, but just as a saying. Okay. So looks like we were finding some support off the same level. Looks like a triple test down here on the ES, or that's the NQ actually. But I believe the ES has something similar. Not quite reaching that support on the ES though. I'm definitely uncertain about this downtrend. It could just be a short-term downtrend with a close outside a new low, making 2 legs down. So I'm leaving it there for now, but I'm not certain that that's correct. It's a little bit sketchy to take any shorts on the ES and the NQ. Whew. Oh, yawn just hit me out of nowhere. The ES and the NQ right now, but the CL is looking like it could have a potential entry. Again, keeping in mind that it could be some sort of spike in channel here. Instead of this channel, it also could just be 2 legs up. It's 2 pretty perfect legs, but we have a short-term downtrend working back, so I'm definitely looking for a possible second entry long here. And you can mark up these highs just in case that comes into play later. Like I said, I'll only be trading until 11 today, headed out of town, so I won't be trading tomorrow either. So a little bit of an odd week. I wish I could trade more, but I'm happy to take what I can get. So it looks like on the RTY, we've hit the close outside a new low for this downtrend. I'm going to go ahead and remove this one because it's obviously not correct. But there could still be something like this working down. Looks like we might be overshooting that as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove that. And the downtrend on NQ looks like it is probably correct as prices are continuing to hold there. Might be considering some sort of short on NQ. The CL is continuing to move up. Doesn't look like we're going to get that second entry that I was hoping for on CL. Let's take a look at the NQ because that's getting to the point where it could have a possible entry here. So I'm going to switch the entry strategy. Looks like that's probably still within this downtrend. So we have a first entry and we're setting up for a potential second entry short. Okay, I like the way that's setting up so far.
Order submitted.
So I'm going to zoom on in here, get my order in. And if we close bearish, I will most likely take that. It is a little bit congestive, but it's a pretty clear 2 legs up after what looks like the break of this downtrend, which I believe is correct. The bar so far is looking pretty squirrely and is ending pretty I don't know if that's bearish enough. I'm gonna say yeah, it is bearish enough because it did end pretty bearish, even though it didn't end quite on its lows. I think that was bearish enough. I am taking this pretty far here. So it's a little bit further than I would like to, and it looks like it's probably just going to go ahead and stop me out there, unfortunately. So it's probably just this congestion, and then the bar not ending super bearish there. But I do think the read is most likely correct, and I think we will still retest these lows. The RTY, after it's hit this break and new low, is finding a very strong uptrend here. So there's the potential to take a long, maybe a second entry long. Looks like we're probably gonna get stopped out on the NQ. Yep, looks like we did. And like I said, I think this read is correct. I think the downtrend is correct. I think it was just the mistake of taking it in this congestion, and the signal bar wasn't as good as I thought it was. So it could be 2 larger legs up here. The other piece of this is it is coming back within this support, which was looking like it might hold as resistance, but doesn't appear so. Might still get some sort of lower high there. So watching for that lower high and thinking about possible longs on RTY. So RTY here, after the downtrend has played out, we get a strong move up, so thinking about possible longs there. And the NQ, still looking for a possible short on some sort of lower high. I still think that we're probably going to retest this downtrend, and my timing was just off here, taking it in this congestion is what I'm currently thinking. So I'm going to put in an order here and hope that I'm right about that read, and let's see if we can get a bearish bar there. And doesn't look like it.
Canceled.
Looks like we're going to continue up. Quite bullish there. So not going to look for that lower high. On the ES, we are clearly just finding support off the same level. So downtrend break, 2 legs to a new low, finding support here. And let's flip over to the RTY, where there is the potential for some sort of second entry long. That is quite a strong down move there.
Order submitted.
But, whoops. I like the strength of the up move after this uptrend or downtrend has played out. Looks like a pretty good 2 legs back. So looking for a bullish bar there. That's not bullish enough.
Order canceled.
Might still consider a higher low or something of that sort.
Order
so just
submitted.
in case we turn up really bullish and have a nice higher low, I want to be prepared for that. Though it doesn't look like it. It looks like we are rejecting off the EMA. So
order canceled.
Just go ahead and take that one off. On the CL, I think that this uptrend is truly a spike in channel, like this. And there's the possibility for a second entry long here, but it really just looks like 1 leg back. So I'm not going to take that. I'm going to wait until there's a clearer close outside of that. The ES looks like it's breaking down below this support level now. And I don't think a downtrend like that is correct. A downtrend like that could be correct. I'm going to put it there just in case, though I realize it definitely could be incorrect. And the NQ, similarly, is now headed down. It looks like prices are going to retest this downtrend that I was looking for earlier. So my timing was probably just off here. I think it was the congestion mainly. And then, as I mentioned, also the signal bar is not the best. It had some momentum, just didn't end quite on its lows. So I still decided to take it, but it was a mistake there. Moving down strongly on the CL. Moving down on every single chart, very strongly on the ES as well, even overshooting what I thought could be a possible downtrend here. See if that ends up holding it all. And maybe on the CL, I could have been wrong about the spike in channel, and maybe it is just like this after all. It's just like that, where that's already closed outside a new high. I'll have to see how this sort of plays out, but with how strong of a downtrend that is, that's kind of what it feels like to me. On the ES, I want to look at a possible measured move down. Looks like we've already hit that. Found some buying about at that level. The NQ has now hit the closeout side and new low for this downtrend, so I'm going to look for a similar second leg down. And RTY, there's one leg up here that's turning down in sort of an odd place, which makes me think there could be a downtrend like this. I definitely don't think these lows are going to be helpful. It's possible we are working towards a second leg on this as well. So lots of potential two legs going on. Definitely thinking short on RTY, short on the ES for the most part. But this downtrend so far is looking correct to me. Finding quite a strong move here. So it kind of looks like two legs down, coming off the opposite side of what could be this downtrend. If this short-term uptrend correction plays out, then I might be looking to take a short. There's the potential for a second entry short on the ES right here, but it's pretty far from the EMA. It's a lower high second entry, and I don't think it's a great context for me to take that one, so I'm not going to take that. I'd rather wait, like I said, until this correction, this short-term uptrend, has to close outside in a new high or something of that sort. Sort of chopping around there. The RTY is looking like it's getting pretty close to a second entry short. Let's see if this downtrend's going to hold. I could definitely be interested in something here.
Order submitted.
Looks like a pretty clear two legs up to me. We did push up and above the EMA, and I'm uncertain about this downtrend. It's clearly a down bias to me. This is pretty perfect two legs up. So if we do get a bearish bar, I think I'll probably have to take that one. And looks like the bar is probably not going to end bearish here. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon.
Order filled.
Okay, so I'm going to get into that one. Looks like it might just instant stop me out. Let's pull this up in here. See how that plays out. Like I said, I'm a little bit uncertain about this downtrend. I don't know if this is correct. I'm mainly drawing this because this short-term uptrend struggles to play out and prices are continuing down. So it makes me feel like there's something there. A couple things that I didn't really realize. One would be this support down in this area. But given such a down bias here with the possible downtrend, perfect two legs up, nice bearish bar, I feel like I have to take a risk there. We are moving down. Looks like we'll probably get out of this. Getting pretty close at least. Just a couple ticks. And I am feeling that I would really like to win this trade, especially after I took that loss. I really hate taking 2 losses in a row, especially in one day. So, you know, I can definitely feel that in
Target
myself, that I
filled.
would really like to see that winner, and I'm glad that it was. So, makes me feel a little bit better about the day. I do think that's a good trade to take. I really do like that one. So that's kind of 2 rapid fire trades. I've only been on for about 20 minutes and already have those 2. Downtrend. So this inner downtrend has a closeout side and 2 legs to a new low now. So you can see downtrend break, 2 legs to a new low. Definitely completes that measured move down. We were close before. Now we've definitely completed it. Now I'm going to be more hesitant to take any shorts now. I want to see if this downtrend is going to hold before I look to really take any, or look to, yeah. On the CL, looks like we are going to continue moving up. So I'm going to change my read of this trend back to a spiking channel. And it looks to me like this is a spiking channel break and move to a new high. There is the possibility that there's a trend line there, but as of right now, I'm going to leave it like this and see how prices react. Unfortunately, no chance to get long there. The RTY is setting up for another possible second entry short. I'm thinking this downtrend is probably correct now. You have a first entry, and there's the possibility for a second entry. The thing that would concern me about taking a second entry here is that prices have now come off this trend line and not reached the opposite side. I mean, hardly got through the midline and then came back, and then it couldn't even get through the midline here. So that definitely makes me a little bit hesitant to take another short off of this trend line. Of course, it doesn't set up. Prices just continue down. So don't have to worry about it, but it's just what I'm thinking as of right now. Prices continuing down on ES. So even though this downtrend has a closeout side and 2 legs to a new low, they are continuing down. Makes me think that the downtrend so far does still look correct, with prices playing off this channel line. Pull this in a little tighter, and it probably fits pretty well there. So far this downtrend looks correct. We're getting pretty close to the support down here. There was kind of 2 support levels. There's this support. It looks like we're gonna just overshoot that if the downtrend is correct. Possibly. not really anything to think about as far as right now goes. To me, it still looks like prices are bouncing off the channel line of this downtrend on the ES. On NQ, we're kind of just chopping down. We're moving down, but in a super choppy way. Getting close to this measured move. It looks like maybe this downtrend has a break in 2 legs down. Let's measure those ones. So pretty close to a downtrend break, 2 legs down. Looks decent there. In fact, what I thought was a short-term uptrend there could have just been a slightly larger one that then has a close outside a new high. And I want to see if there's a possible downtrend similar to the ES. There could be something like that. But as of right now, I'm going to leave it as is. The CL uptrend has a break and a new high, so I'm not looking for anything here, waiting for some sort of clearer structure. And RTY is continuing to work down, but it seems to be losing some momentum. So not really looking for any shorts here until after this downtrend breaks, in which case I'll probably be looking for a break and new low. I don't think I would want to play anything off this trend line with how weak the trend is looking. Finding some strong up movement on NQ. And the ES as well. It's possible this was a little bit of an overshoot right there, leading to a strong rally. It's also possible the trend line is still intact, in which case I might be looking for a short here. It's a little bit concerning that prices have touched off this support level as far as taking shorts go. But the true overnight lows are down here, so it's not the end of the world. I might still consider something here. This is a pretty strong short-term uptrend, so taking a lower high second entry is definitely kind of risky, meaning that the short-term uptrend, if that doesn't play out, and it does there.
Order submitted.
So there's the possibility for an entry. I don't think there's a close outside a new high. This could be a close outside, but I'm uncertain about that. So maybe looking for some sort of lower high. It definitely looks visually like this has a close outside a new high, but I'm uncertain because, you know, if you drag this out just a little bit further like this, it could not. Definitely looking for some sort of lower high though right now. It appears that prices are going to continue upwards just a little bit there. So now there's a clear close outside. Prices seem to be attempting that new high again, more convincing one at least. And I do want to note that it might not be the right place to be looking for a short. As I said, prices have touched off this support area from before, where there is some previous support. And the downtrend could have an overshoot here leading to this strong rally. So it might not be the best place to take a short. Sort of waiting to see what prices are going to do to help me determine. Congestion there. Possible failed second entry. So let's say if we get a push outside of this congestion, a pullback to create a failed second entry. That could be an interesting setup to me. I'm going to go ahead and take this order off.
Order
It's
canceled.
looking less likely that I'll be looking for a short here. do want to note for later on whenever I'm studying this that if this was a bearish bar here, I probably would have entered there. And today, I definitely feel like I'm a little bit trigger happy. On the NQ, I probably generally wouldn't have entered this one, given, if anything, just the signal bar. But for some reason I did, and then I've already taken 2 trades and haven't even been on for half an hour yet. So that's pretty atypical, and I need to keep an eye on that for myself to not overtrade. So let's really wait on the great setups right now and not enter stupidly on stuff like this. If that was a bearish signal bar, that wouldn't have been a good entry. So now we surely have a break in new high for this uptrend. And seems to be, to me, that this is probably a slight overshoot, and we did end up finding support here. There's a possibility of a wider uptrend working up higher. So that's a possibility. I want to look at measured moves up and see how prices react, assuming they are able to touch that. There's the possibility for shorts on RTY. So it looks like I was correct not to really look for any shorts off this trend line, as prices were sort of running out of momentum. And now you have the short-term uptrend, which has broken the downtrend. And I'm thinking the prices will probably retest these lows. They did get pretty close to 2 measured legs down though. I think with how strong this uptrend is, I want to wait for a close outside a new high, or for prices just to dissipate a little bit more. It's too much momentum. I'm now thinking this downtrend could be entirely incorrect on the ES. Could just be something like this that then has a break in 2 legs to a new low. Not sure. The NQ definitely just looks like a break in 2 legs to a new low. So downtrend break, 2 legs to a new low. Now we're moving up really strongly on the ES. Possibility of this larger trend, but again, probably unlikely. Very strong uptrend on RTY. Definitely not looking for any shorts as of yet. Maybe in the future, but not yet. It looks like we're moving into range type of action on the CL to me. This is not a very strong downtrend. We're making a slightly higher low. Looks like we have a double top, so I wouldn't be surprised to find some sort of range like this end up being correct. On the NQ and the ES, it's actually looking somewhat good for a short here. I don't think that uptrend is right. It looks like 2 legs up. And now we have a super strong down move. I definitely can't take a lower high here, but maybe some sort of second entry short. It makes me think that maybe the downtrend that I had drawn here is actually correct after all. So definitely a big question mark on that one. And then you can see something similar on the NQ where this uptrend is clearly not correct. It looks like 2 legs up. Now you're getting a super strong downtrend. So potentially, again, maybe a failure, maybe a second entry, though there's not really a great reason to go short. So at least on the NQ, I probably shouldn't consider that. On the ES, taking into account that this downtrend could be correct, maybe I look for a short, but it's probably not a great idea to take a short there either. The RTY, on the other hand, I definitely do like looking for a short here. The uptrend does not have a close outside a new high. There's quite a strong sell-off. Potential for a failure, but I don't know if I want to take that failure. I have to see kind of how things set up. Lots of question marks. Lots of question marks for me right now. And I'm feeling like I'm tempted to check my account balance, but it doesn't matter. Generally, whenever I do that, it just puts me in a bad state of mind. It puts me in a feeling like I need to make up for any losses or something of that sort. So, you know, just not worth it. So that would be the failed second entry right there, but I don't really want to take that one. It also could be, like if you look at this, it could be a short-term uptrend with 2 legs back. If you draw the short-term downtrend, it could be 2 legs back before we continue higher. This is just a really strong uptrend, and this failure is ending just really low here. It feels like it's kind of moved too far for me, so I have to skip that one, even though it could be a decent trade. You're also getting that failure on the ES, but I'm not looking to take that one. Somewhat similar reasoning. This one's kind of congested though. Feels like it's just moved really far and it doesn't feel right to me. So yeah, I'm not going to take it. The CL is finding some support off this level, so this range could be correct. and finding a lot of upward movement on RTY. So it looks like not taking that failure was the right decision, and this could be 2 legs back like I was thinking that it might. In fact, on the incur, it looks like a pretty clear 2 legs back, though this uptrend already has a close outside a new high and already looks like 2 legs up. So I'm not looking to take any longs there. It's possible there's enough lingering long bias here to take that, but definitely not for me. Too risky. RTY getting close to that close outside a new high for the short-term uptrend now. Made a double top there, so we haven't quite hit the break in new high. Gotten really close though. Yes, possible just congestive area. Possibly just moving sideways there. I'd say a no to that sideways action. Continuing to move down. Same with the incur, whereas before I was saying that, of course, I wasn't going to take long here, but I was thinking there might be enough residual long bias to potentially consider that, and it appears that was not correct there. So it doesn't feel like I have the best read on the market right now. I've been pretty uncertain about a lot of what's going on. For one, this downtrend on the ES, which kind of looks correct with these 2 touches. It does skip quite a bit of price action here. Then it has a lot of touches on the opposite side, so the channel line, which I do like there. But I'm not sure about this downtrend. It could just be incorrect, so that's a big question mark. The incur, for the most part, I think makes sense to me. Just not exactly sure where prices are going to go from here. There's no clear structure. CL actually makes decent sense. Looks like this range is not right, at least in that area. And the RTY is kind of just moving sideways, so another potential range on this area. You can see prices had this range here, broke out, and ended up pulling back and touching that perfectly, finding some support there off the old resistance. not really looking for any trades right now. There's nothing I see on any of the charts that I really want to take. This is a possible second entry short on RTY, creating a triple test. Though I'm not really sure if prices are going to reach the break and new low for this downtrend. It already looks like 2 legs down. Prices might just reverse now. This is tempting though. It's a very tempting second entry short there. I'm not going to take it. It doesn't feel quite right to me. The signal bar is not great. But I'm going to mark that. And we are finding some down movement there. So maybe I should have taken that. But I wouldn't say that I should have, because anytime that I'm that uncertain and not feeling really great about a trade, then I'm doing the right thing by skipping it. But something to study later. And we are reversing there, so what a switch up. Maybe my intuition was correct. So it appears that I was correct not to take that trade, but it's still something to look into, because there's a chance that I might have taken that if I was in a slightly different mindset or something like that. After already taking 2 trades and noticing that I'm a little bit trigger happy today, I've sort of consciously tried to refrain from taking any trades. Not really refrain, but be a little bit more cautious and noticing that. So if I was in a different mindset and maybe this was at the end of the day, I hadn't taken any trades and maybe I'd be looking at this and saying, well, that's the best thing that I've seen so far, and maybe I would have taken that. So that's why I'm saying maybe if I was in a different mindset, then I might have. So I still need to study that one. Hopping over to the ES, I'm going to go ahead and ditch this downtrend again. I was thinking that once prices started moving down here, maybe that's where they were headed, but really it's probably just two legs down, just where everything's played out to the downside, reaching the support. Now that downtrend's played out, headed higher. We're breaking out of the high side of this overnight highs. That looks like a range on the NQ. There's the possibility of a larger uptrend. Highly uncertain, but a possibility. Same with the ES. I mean, you could look at maybe something like this. I think that's too wide. But you could look at something like this, and that could potentially be correct. On the RTY, given that this is a retest trend, so this is the main trend, you have a break and a new low, and so this next sort of larger trend is a retest trend. It already looks like it's almost reached 2 legs down, so it might not get a break and new low. So I'm not putting a bunch of weight in looking for the close outside and new low for that downtrend. Looking like this uptrend is probably not correct. Really just looks like 2 legs up. Almost to the tick. It's tempting to possibly look for some shorts on NQ after we've broken outside of these overnight highs and we're coming back within. Ditch that uptrend too, but the thing is, it's a little bit uncertain exactly what's going on. I think that uptrend could actually be correct after all. Then you have 2 legs to a new high. So there's a 2-legged break and 2 legs to a new high. So that could be the case. And if we continue down here with a short-term downtrend, maybe I'd look for a second entry short. I don't think I'd want to look for a lower high or a failure. I also want to note that prices, after they came off these highs, didn't come down to the support. So this could be an up-biased range, and it could continue upwards and out of the high side. Prices moving up quite strongly on the RTY. Clearly there's some resistance there. And just plowed right through that measured move. So this is pretty strong on RTY. Probably not looking to take any shorts right there. CL sort of chopping down. No clear structure as of right now. At least not that I see. Spike and channel up has a break and new high. 2 legs down. Now we're back in the middle of nowhere basically. And going back to the NQ, I was thinking maybe I'd be looking for some shorts, but this is finding some buying kind of too early. That's not a strong enough downtrend, so I'm not looking for any shorts as of right now. That is a potential lower high. Not something that I would probably want to take, but looking at it in hindsight, could be this uptrend break, 2 legs to new high, lower high. I said that I wasn't interested in taking any shorts because prices moved up really strongly, and they sold off pretty strongly there too, so could be decent. Something I'll have to look into later. I did kind of zone out there for a second whenever I kind of decided I wasn't going to take any shorts. I just kind of stopped looking for them, so that's a mistake in my thinking right there. And something that I do decently often is right after I decide that there's not an entry, I'll either like zone out or start focusing on another chart, which makes sense on the surface, but sometimes I decide that there's not going to be an entry too early. Like there, I decided there wasn't going to be one too early, and then I missed even the possibility of taking this lower high. At one point in time, I might have taken this long on RTY. It looks like a pretty perfect 2 legs back. Overall, the bias is up. But like, what's the structure here? You know, maybe I'd even, you know, cheat myself and draw some wide uptrend and be like, well, that's right. And, you know, maybe it is right, but it's way too uncertain. I don't really know what the structure is here, so I can't take something like that. I have to wait on something clearer. Could end up getting something like that. Not sure. On the NQ, this is a place where oftentimes I misread the chart or don't exactly know what's going on after. So like after this uptrend has played out with, you know, these break in 2 legs to a new high, you now have what looks like a first entry, second entry, so like a larger 2 legs back, and you're not going to get the setup really here, but let's say if we pulled up to the EMA and then got a bearish bar, which I guess we could get the setup. If we pull up to the EMA and get a bearish bar, well, this is a place where I struggle to see, okay, is this a failed second entry with like what looks like kind of 2 larger legs back, or is this just 2 larger legs back before we are going to continue higher? This was just a completed correction. That's an area that I continuously have trouble deciding exactly what's going on. Looks like this downtrend on the ES is correct. So it could be looking for a short there. And if something similar holds on the NQ, then maybe a short there too, but doesn't really look like it's going to hold. Okay, so actually on the ES, I keep going back and forth about this trend, but it's looking like prices are probably attempting to reach those lows now. I think this makes sense to have it be this downtrend. Uptrend then has a close outside into like to new high, and now we're continuing towards this break a new low. It makes a lot of sense there. And the NQ is actually holding this downtrend as well. Don't think that's useful. So it could be looking for shorts on the ES and the NQ. The RTY continuing down in a similar fashion. Could be like that. And though I did delete these two legs up, because they definitely, prices move past the measured move. They try and find some selling at that measured move, but they do end up kind of moving past that. Maybe if you say, okay, well, the second leg up really started after the sideways action, maybe you can say that is kind of two legs up. Sort of questionable though. I might be stretching it a little bit too far there. CL is just kind of chopping down. There's not really much to say about this one. Don't think I'm looking for any trades there. Just want to wait on something a little bit more certain. But definitely on the ES and the NQ, looking pretty good for some shorts here. The ES is coming down and touching this support, or almost touching this support, which makes me a little bit more hesitant. A little bit more hesitant to take a short, but still a possibility. This is a pretty strong downtrend here, so if we get a nice two legs back, then I'll probably look to take that. And I'm only on for about half an hour more, so again, a shorter day for me. Gotta head out of town. Won't be trading tomorrow. Might not be trading Thursday, but we'll see. Okay, so we've hit the break and new low for that larger downtrend, and we're pushing through the support level. It appears I probably should have just left this downtrend. I did feel like it looked pretty good, but after prices started to move up, and especially after this move up here, I was thinking, well, it's probably not correct. It turns out that it was. So we'll have to look into that later. And looking back at this was kind of tough to tell at the time, but either this higher low or this failed second entry could have been decent entries, because I wasn't sure about this uptrend. It looked like just 2 legs up to me, and then now, clearly this downtrend correction had played out. But I felt like I was very uncertain what was going on. But looking back, clearly this uptrend has an overshoot, 2 legs down, completes the correction, strong push above the EMA, higher low, and a failed second entry. So those could have been good entries to take longs that I just didn't see at the time. Now that this downtrend has a break and new low, push past the support. Even if you do get 2 legs up, chances are I'm not going to take that. But there is still the possibility to take something on the incur. And also the RTY. So I previously was talking about how sorry about that, I had to sneeze. Previously was talking about how this downtrend might not get a break and new low because it already looks like 2 legs down, and this second one, this is a retest trend, and retest trends don't always get to play out. But now that prices are looking so strongly down, and this downtrend here looks pretty certain, if we get 2 legs up, then chances are I'll take that, because now you have these 2 obligations to take a short, and this downtrend is quite strong. So not really looking for anything on the ES anymore, most likely. It's still a possibility, of course, depending on what sets up. I don't want to say never, but it's less likely to take one on the ES now, given that this downtrend has a break new low and we've broken below the support. In Q, possibility still exists. Finding some congestion though. And the RTY, the possibility exists as well to take a short. In fact, the RTY looks best to me right now. So there was a point there today where it kind of felt like I was like fighting against time, just trying to survive until the end. Sort of hard to describe. It's like, I don't know, it's like if I was being attacked by a bunch of different things and I'm just trying to fend them off long enough to survive and just like make the time limit. That's kind of how I felt for a little bit. I was like, okay, I just have to, just make it through this last hour. Just don't do anything dumb, don't overtrade, blah, blah, blah. It felt like I was kind of on the ropes, and I haven't really felt that for a little while. I'm not exactly sure why, because it was even after I had won one of the trades, so I had that loser and then the winner, and still felt like I was kind of on the ropes. That feeling has kind of gone away now. I'm pretty content, and I think maybe it partially has to do with my understanding of the chart, whereas before I felt like I was maybe behind and feeling reactionary. I think that's probably what it is, actually. Feeling reactionary instead of like being ahead and looking at what's happening and having an idea of what I think is going to happen. I think that's sort of the difference. Anyway, just wanted to point out that I was kind of feeling that way earlier because I didn't mention it. I didn't really know how to put it into words, but I'm feeling back in the swing of things now. Downtrends have all played out on the ES, so definitely not looking for any kind of shorts anymore. We've also reached these overnight lows now. Downtrend's played out on the NQ as well. CL, there's still nothing to take. RTY, this downtrend, I believe, has a break a new low. It's right up to it, so not quite. Still a possibility for a short on RTY. And I'm wondering if part of me feeling sort of reactionary and on the ropes today has to do with how I had sort of a hectic morning where I woke up and had a bunch of messages that I had to respond to before the trading day, which I usually don't do. I usually respond to everything afterwards. But I felt like I had to get all this done beforehand because I'm going out of town. So it's like it's been this sort of hectic day even before the trading day. And then during my meditation, I noticed that I wasn't really able to quiet my mind. So it's possible that all these things have sort of added into what created that feeling. Finding support exactly off that level and getting quite a strong move up. Still thinking that we could get a short here, but it's less likely given that we've touched off that support and then we're finding this move up. This is kind of close enough to call this a break a new low, but this trend was pretty strong, so it might command a break a new low of its own anyway. And thinking that there could be some possible longs on the ES now. Now that this downtrend has played out, we've come right off this support here. In fact, I'm even going to pull that down. So perfectly off that support level. So we could even find some buying on the ES. NQ downtrend has played out. Still haven't hit the support on the NQ. We're making higher lows each time and kind of higher highs too on the NQ. So it's a pretty different looking chart on the ES and the NQ right now. quite a strong up move on RTY. Makes me think that there could even be a second entry long. So like if prices pull down with 2 legs down, there could even be a possibility for a second entry long here. Even though this downtrend hasn't played out, creating this double bottom and getting that super strong rally up makes me feel like it could be a decent trade. And I've got about 15 more minutes for the day. This looks like the short-term uptrend is getting a close outside a new high, so not getting the setup that I was hoping for. I was hoping that prices after the short-term uptrend would pull down and get a two-legged pullback before they go higher, but they're just continuing higher, so I'm not going to get that. It appears on the ES that the downtrend has played out, and I was probably correct that we're ready to reverse here. So we could get a trend like this. I might actually pull this in a little tighter, so that way that fits there. And there is a possibility for a long on the ES. On the NQ, this downtrend appears to have played out. The feeling not as great about taking a long on the NQ right now because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. But the ES, I do like possibly taking a long here. On CL, looks like this short-term downtrend played out. Found like a congestive area here, and then now we are moving higher. Always like to look for possible measured moves. And yeah, moving up strongly there. So far it's the ES that I'd really like to look at for a second entry long or two legs back of some sort. It's a really strong down move on the ES. So I'm not really going to look for any longs. At least not right there. I was thinking again a possible second entry long, but this is just a really strong down move through the EMA. So yeah, I'm good now. No thanks. I'd say the chances of taking a trade in the next 10 minutes are probably pretty low for me. It's a possibility, but probably low. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it there for the day. I don't see anything that's really setting up that I think is going to set up in the next 5 minutes. So yeah, that's it for me. And I will be back at least on Friday and possibly on Thursday. I will see you guys next time.